Hello, everyone. Welcome to Daniel Burnaby Daily Inspirational Quotes Podcast. To inspire, motivate, and encourage people to obey God's word and serve others through their God-given gift.
Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Burnaby Daily Inspirational Quotes. It's an honor and pleasure to have with us today in our platform, Kimberly. Kimberly, it's an honor to have you in our show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Daniel, and I'm really excited to be here with you.
Great. Thank you. And then, Kimberly, you have a new book. And then I would like you to talk a little bit about your book. And then you're going to tell the title of the book, and you're going to explain to us why you wrote that book. And then that would be a great help for our listeners today. And then they will know how they can get the book on Amazon or any platform that you have. Kimberly, you have the microphone. Tell us more about yourself, Kimberly. Welcome to DB Inspirational Quotes today.
Thank you. I feel so blessed to be here. So the title of this book is Miracles in the Naked Light. And that title came about through my own experience that every moment is filled with grace if we're open to cooperate and surrender into it. It's always there, but we realize it and we touch in and we live it when we actually open to it. But that can be something really tricky. I mean, we live in a world with a lot of challenges, a lot of stressors, a lot of confusing moments. We live in a world that's filled with a lot of contrast, where great things happen and unpleasant things happen.
Wow.
And right? It's
That's true. For the time being, everything is very complicated than before, worse than before, we can say.
It is so true. And, it can seem a bit audacious to say everything is grace, because what then do you do in the face of all the suffering that happens? How is that really true? How would suffering exist if it was grace, and grace is willing the good of something or someone? And in my experience of that, of everything is grace, what I've discovered is, as I surrendered to the mystery of life, to source, to life force, as I open myself and surrender into that mystery, I discover that I come really close to life, and discover that in this closeness, in this vulnerability, not defensive, like I'm right and you're wrong, but in this vulnerability of coming close, I discover that I'm seen, I'm held, you're seen, you're held. All the world is being held all at the same time by the same exact life force. And in the experience of that, what happens is, at least what happened for me, is I touched in on a well of compassion, equanimity, loving kindness, potentiality. I touched in on all of these things that were right at my very center.
Right, that's great.
And then influenced how I looked out upon the world. Less divisive, more, I'm really meant to come close as a friend to everything. And I draw upon, for the book, I've had many experiences that have really inspired me.
The book, Kimberly.
Do you like it?
What is the title of the book? The title
Miracles in the Naked Light.
Tell it again.
Miracles in the Naked Light.
What does it mean for you, that title? Because
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to start with naked light.
Okay.
Work my way back.
Okay.
So naked light is my perspective of what we're actually walking in at every moment. And I was taking a hike one day. I live in Colorado and I love to hike. And I was taking a hike one day and I was listening to some Simon and Garfunkel, and Sounds of Silence, this wonderful song, came on. And there's this one phrase and in the naked light I saw.
Amazing.
Right? And it gives you the felt sense of my eyes were opened. All the barriers were taken away. All of my misconceptions were taken away. And it was so intimate. It was like naked. And I saw. And it's the title is that because I believe that when we open up and we awaken and we see truly as things are, miracles abound. We become an agency for inspiration and miracles. We become the recipient of them. We become the admirer of them. And my book is all about receiving a very dramatic inspiration in 1996.
Wow.
When I was meditating in a field of wildflowers in Texas. And I had this yearning in my heart and soul for something. And in that yearning, I just opened up and surrendered it. And in that surrender, I heard, build the monastery.
Okay. Okay. It does great, Kimberly. Kimberly, can you read a little, please? Would you please read a little bit, one of the chapter of the book, people can get a clue what inside that great book, please? Would you please read one chapter, one page or one sentence
Yes,
that
yes,
really attract
of
to our
course.
listeners, that
Of
impacted
course.
you?
I love that. Yes, just give me 1 minute. Let's see. I know which one I want. I'll read the story of the wildflowers.
Okay.
Yeah, let me find that. So in the front of the book, I talk quite a bit about grace and source and inspiration, what it means to live from that. And then I just simply go into the story itself, which is really lovely. All right. I mean, this monastery that I built, I had no experience. We had close to no money. And it was 17,000 square feet.
Okay.
And ended up being worth $9 million.
Wow.
And that came about just because of inspiration.
Perfect.
Isn't that crazy? For some reason, this day the doorbell rang nonstop. And for some reason, I found myself longing for complete silence. This challenge ushered in a pivotal experience of my beloved just hours later. During the evening, I traversed outback for my time of meditation. A sea of wildflowers greeted me. Moving among them, they swayed like the waves of the ocean, dusting my habit in bright yellow, engulfing me as they swelled up to my waist. Looking out into the expanse of land behind us, my heart shed the tensions and distractions. Silence, solitude. These sentiments arose within me like a burning desire and a wordless prayer. An informed yearning exploded, and I heard, build our permanent monastery. The prayer had erupted within me in ways I knew well. I knew it would be answered. I said yes. And the key there is the I said yes. After I said yes, a week later, our community voted to build a monastery. A month later, a couple knocked on our door and gave us 640 acres of land. And miracle after miracle after miracle kept happening. But the key was saying yes. The tandem with inspiration, right? We are inspired and then we say yes. And we're meant to say yes with all of ourselves, with our whole heart and all our being.
Correct. Kimberly, I really like the way you read the book. And for me, I feel like a meditation. And secondly, it's like you get a voice to explain stories, to explain, something that make people feel really be inspired. It's like
Oh,
I can see that your voice in a radio voice in a TV station, when you explain something like people can feel transported to other world, like to live what you say. It's a wonderful gift to have, Kimberly. I
oh,
heard your voice in YouTube channel, so wow. If you can read the story of the kids, we can listen to you and the kids, they will enjoy it. We have a wonderful voice,
oh,
melody voice you
I
have.
love reading to kids.
That's wonderful, Kimberly. And then I really like this book. And then Kimberly, tell us a little bit about yourself. What inspired you to write this book? What is the reason you wrote it specifically?
There were numerous reasons. So I lived in a monastery at that time, and I left in 2001.
Where
And
that
since
monastery located? Where is that?
it's in Texas.
Oh, Texas. Okay. Okay.
Mhm. And
Perfect.
I went to seminary and I did grad work. And then I've been in service, leading retreats and giving inspirational talks and teaching meditation and
Okay.
for about 22 years now. And there are ways that we, especially in the Western culture, are given an invitation first to step into the fullness of who we are and to know how to do that. And second, to heal the wounds that we have, that the psyche holds around things, the misconceptions about what it means to be alive. And because this story flowed through me like pure grace the whole way through, and because in the story you see all of humanity showing up, you see the great things happening, you see yucky things happening, but in it all, you see that what wins out is the inspiration. And if we can stay true to that at our
Yeah.
core,
Yeah.
we will come through and we'll emerge in new ways in our lives.
Great.
So I wrote the book to be a source of encouragement to people. I think stories let us draw close to our own stories. And I wrote the book because I wanted to celebrate the magnificence of this project and the hundreds of people that gave so much.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Kimberly. I have another question. Where those inspirations come from?
Where does inspiration come from?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I like that question. Now, I know everyone will have their own answer. I believe that inspiration is happening all of the time from the pulse of source, the ineffable and eternal love, an uncreated source in which we all live and move and have our being.
Okay.
And that living an inspired life is part of our birthright. Sometimes we talk about inspiration as something that we need to find or something that only happens occasionally in our lives. And I am boldly exploring the possibility, in my own belief, that we actually are meant to live an inspired life.
Okay.
Every part of us.
Okay.
At
Okay.
each moment.
Perfect. Thank you, Kimberly. And then when you call about source, and then is a deep word, source. I can say when you talk in human perspective, and then all human being come from a source, but physically you can say we come from a mother's womb, right? This is a source. Everybody come from a belly, from a woman. But after the woman belly, there's another source. Can you go deeply to talk about that source, please? People can know what is that source. People say, is that a spring of water? Is that we're talking about the ocean, talking about I can say the galaxy. What is the source talking about? People are confused sometimes. Can you explain to us that source, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So my own belief is that we are a soul, and a soul doesn't have any boundaries. It's
Okay.
not limited by this.
Okay.
But it's coming into this realm to learn, to grow, to live, And this is the anchor. This is the temple.
Okay.
And that soul is part of what I could use the words God,
What's that?
conscious,
That again?
God,
Okay, perfect. That's the
consciousness,
word. Okay.
spirit.
I can say the source is God, the creator.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Thank you, Kimberly.
And you know, the word God comes from the word gut, G-U-T-H,
Okay.
and it's Old High Norse, and it means voice.
Yes.
So it has a tone to it that God is speaking, and we're coming forth as part of that song.
Perfect. Perfect. That's great because everything was created with words. And then God spoke, he created things, created the universe, he created everything by only his voice. Thank you, Kimberly. This is the word source you're talking about, and I really appreciate that. And then you can define the source for everyone that is listening. The source is not the galaxy, the source is not the ocean, not the rain blowing in the air. The source is God. Thank you, Kimberly. And this yeah, this is the real source you get the inspiration come from, because inspiration, that's something come from your soul deep within, and then that's why inspiration always brings something positive to others. And that's why I always said that inspiration always help people do good things, to realize their dreams, to realize, their goals in life. And then that's why the inspiration is something good, you know. That's great, Kimberly. Kimberly, and I said before in the beginning of my show, then you speak very, very inspirational. And the way you speak, it's like you motivate people, it's like you inspire people. That's very wonderful, wonderful. And then tell me more about what did you do, and then before, what motivates you to be in that field? How you discover your gift? How you discover your talent? How did you know you had kind of gift to inspire people with your voice, with your word of inspiration? How did you discover that?
So you're speaking a little bit to what I might call a calling, right?
Okay,
Because
calling, yes.
we recognize that we have certain gifts, and that those gifts seem to be of service to the world in uplifting humanity,
Correct.
in providing goodness. So, but it wasn't so cognitive. It wasn't like I looked at that and I recognized that and I was like, I should really, when I was little, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I used to have a lot of very deep experiences with God. And one of them, we lived in Ohio, and I was walking home from school one day, and it was autumn.
Okay.
And the leaves were all changing colors, and the wind was moving, and it had that autumn change. And I loved it. It felt to me like the world was dancing.
Yeah.
So I would dance my way home.
Okay.
Well, one day I was dancing my way home, and I was filled with so much bliss.
Okay.
I stopped at the end of my street, and I just looked out on this world that was luminous, and I felt luminous with the world. And then a tree caught my attention, almost like it was going, pay attention. And I focused on the tree, and then one leaf caught my attention, and I focused on the leaf. And as I was watching the leaf with a real sweetness, it was teetering like this, and then it broke off the branch, and it started descending to the ground. And as it was descending, no thought in my mind, from deep within me, this existential sadness came up. Is that it? Because it felt like the leaf was dying. The leaf wasn't dying, but it felt like the leaf was dying. And it just rose up so fast within me. Is that all life is about? And then time seemed to stop, and veils pulled back. And I had a direct experience that the leaf was in God and God was in the leaf.
Perfect.
And that I was in God, and all my life was about being and becoming in God. Well, it filled me with so much joy.
Now again, you say all your life is what? Can you say that again, that question again?
All my life was about one thing: being and becoming in God.
Okay, okay, I understand. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And
That's good.
it filled me with so much happiness, a
Yeah,
happiness that's never been touched. I've never had sadness around death ever again. I mean, I have sadness when somebody I love dies, but
okay,
not sadness about death.
okay.
And that left me oriented to being of service to this message. And I found that even when I was young, somehow when I would speak, people would respond. I could speak about something, about a cause, something we wanted to stand up for. You know, maybe as a sixth grader, I spoke about something that we all thought needed to be changed. And somehow my voice was an agent
Okay, okay,
about. And that's happened all through my life, even though I didn't directly say, I want to use my voice in order to
okay,
inspire. I
okay.
just find that people come into contact with deeper goodness, no matter how they use language around it. When I'm using my voice, they
Yeah,
touch on themselves, they touch in on some
exactly. No,
bigger.
that's nice. And I believe your voice can be used, in many ways to tell stories, especially for kids at night, and then your voice can inspire people. When people feel depressed, they listen to your voice in a moment, they can feel comforted, they can feel, get joy back, and then you have a gift from your voice, a gift. You keep on using it, to it. You can make your book in audio. Do you have your book in audio?
It is. And
Okay.
it's my voice too.
Oh, perfect. Congratulations.
Amazon, you can get the audio.
Yeah, I will try my best to get that audio. That would be wonderful, very helpful. Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly,
Absolutely.
tell us where our audience, our listeners can get your book, please. Can you tell us where?
Absolutely. So there are two directions you can go if you're listening. First, you can go right to my website, kimberlybraun.com. And
Okay,
all my books are there. This is my third book. All my books are there. You can
okay.
join my newsletter. You can connect with me. You can participate in things. And then, secondly, if you're a big Amazon user,
Yes,
just Google Miracles in the Naked Light. And it's available in print, in ebook, and in audio through
perfect.
Amazon.
Perfect, Kimberly. Really, thank you. We thank you so much for your time and also for your voice. And then that can inspire many, many people over the world. When they go to your book, they go to Amazon and click Miracle, we can get you, they'll be impressed and amazed to listen to your voice that can inspire them to reach their goals and meditate in everything they want to do in life. Because everything we want, we need our inside of us. As it connected to the source, as Kimberly said, the source is God, that God will reveal us every potential that we have within us, and to use those potentials to not only benefit from them, but to serve others. Is that correct, Kimberly?
Amen.
That's wonderful. Kimberly, thank you, Kimberly, for your time. And I believe, Kimberly, I'm gonna need your voice as well. I have a book coming, especially I have one that with an Amazon Daily Inspirational Quote. I'd like to put it on audio. But the voice, I'd like to think about it. If it's possible for you, I'd like to use your voice. Because your voice, so because I'm thinking about inspirational quotes. This is a quote
Oh,
that,
sure.
yeah, I wrote 2000 in 2000, and then it's like about 3 years that book already in paper on Amazon. But if you like to put it in an audio, I would like to use a kind of voice like you that can inspire people. People feel, yeah, that's the real tough. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
open to that. I'm very open to that possibility. You just let me know.
Exactly, exactly. Kimberly, thank you for your time and a wonderful moment. And every listeners, go to those platforms, especially Amazon, and click Kimberly Brown Miracle as the title of the book, again, the part of the book, and buy it, and that'll be useful for you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Daily Inspirational Quotes. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye. Wait for me, Kimberly, before you hang up. Just a moment, please. All right.
Great.
Yeah, let me stop that. Let me stop the audio.